Well, it's been a quiet January transfer window so far for Leeds United, but a few moves are now starting to be made, leaving Ellen Road. So will that pave way for Leeds United to bring in a couple of players in them positions that we need to make sure we keep our Premier League status? In tonight's live stream, we're going to bring you through the latest transfer news that surround Leeds United Football Club. We're going to talk about Jack Harrison's imminent departure. I can't speak tonight, you know. Imminent departure from Ellen Road to Fiorentina. We're going to talk about Joel Piroe. His future is still very much undecided and is a topic up for debate. We're going to talk about young Harry Gray, who's on the move as well. And then we're going to talk about a couple of rumours as well about players that come in to Ellen Road. That and much, much more. Dylan, how are you keeping on this Tuesday?
It's Tuesday then. Let's be honest with you. It's Tuesday. You just can't wait for the weekend. One, it's the weekend, and two, Leeds United are back playing. So we have to deal with all these rumours and gossips, and try and sort this team out. Well, the January Blues are here. We all wanted it to come as quick as possible to get players in. Leeds are on form. Leeds are on fire. Let's hope they recruit well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the title says in the video, I think this is a very important transfer window, Dylan, for Leeds United. We have to make sure we do enough both ways of getting a bit of that deadwood that's at Leeds United at the minute, players that aren't playing out the door, hopefully get a good chunk of their wage bill off the bill, which enables us to bring a couple of players in, strengthening the positions that we need to strengthen in, and make sure we finish this season as strong as we possibly can. So it's a very important transfer window for Leeds United. So Dylan, let's dive straight into it and let's talk about the one that we've seen today. And it is the imminent departure of Leeds United winger Jack Harrison, Dylan. And this probably felt like, to be honest with you, a little bit inevitable, Dylan, didn't it?
Look, I'm not going to slight him. As you kind of said to me off camera then when we're kind of discussing it, it seems to be, people want this to happen as quick as possible to kind of get him gone. In my opinion, I don't think he ever should have gotten back to Leeds. It just seemed a bit sour. A lot of people at the start of the season before he came back, were kind of saying, well, Brendan Aronson did it last year. It was a little bit different because Brendan Aronson was left and he got slated for it. Jack Harrison left and there was no he's coming back.
He was gone for 2 years, Dylan. He triggered that loan clause that he had in his contract for 2 years. And then even some of the interviews that he'd done with Everton as well, that he wanted to be part of their new future with their new stadium, the stuff with his mom and stuff like that. And it just, I don't know, Dylan, it always had a feel about it that it was never really going to work. And he probably should have just never came back in the summer. Leeds should have looked into the offload him, and he has been poor. And I think the game against Derby County the weekend in the FA Cup probably proved that as well, Dylan, that he's just not at the required level for Leeds United now. And that's in an FA Cup game against a championship side, and he looked particularly poor, so he's not really going to be much use to us in the Premier League, is he? But this was the tweet confirming it this morning from Fabrizio Romano. He said, 3 deals agreed this morning in Serie A. Jack Harrison from LUFC to Fiorentina on loan for the rest of the season, and there is going to be a 10 million buyout clause in that as well, Dylan. So I am hoping that Jack Harrison goes over there, does enough to make sure that loan release clause is triggered.
I think for himself, he kind of has to, Darren, because there's nowhere else for him to go. He comes back to Leeds, after this loan. If it doesn't work out for him, I can't see him getting into this team. Harrison, for me, don't get me wrong, he was great under Bielsa, and that's the problem. There's a lot of players that we've named in the past that have moved on that were so good under Bielsa and just haven't kind of got going after that. So for me, look, there's no disrespect to the lad. He was a good part of the club while it lasted, but at the end of the day, it's a loan. You never know. He could go and prove, get a bit more game time, see the world of that, a football at a different
Probably
way.
best for him to get out of England, Dylan, at this stage.
It would be, yes.
I think it's a good move all around. And the main one of this, Dylan, and the details that we don't really know, that would be very interesting to find out, is what's happening with this 90k a week wage that he has. I'm hoping Fiorentina are covering most of this, at least half of it. I don't want Leeds United to be, paying over half of his wages if he's not even at the football club. So when this is fully confirmed and he's gone there, I'd like some source to find out exactly what are we still paying Jack Harrison, because that's a massive wage for him to be sitting on the bench and not really contributing this season for Leeds United. So I hope we can get that off the books, and then that will probably enable us as well to bring someone else in. And when you look at Jack Harrison, Dylan, he's very much a winger. He's very much been an option for Daniel Farke to come off a bench. So I'm wondering as well, is this clearing a spot for us to be able to bring in another winger or another attacking player. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
I would like to think so. That's what I would be. It's not necessarily, as you said there a few minutes ago, get rid of the deadwood and that we can invest in our play. You'd like to think you're getting rid of these players for a backup to come in, someone new, fresh legs. I like that as well. Every single person that we see on the bench week in, week out, we want them to be coming on to making an impact, not just sitting on the bench for just taking up names or taking up seats. Or, as you would say, if there was injuries or concerns or suspensions, etc. You want all these lads fighting. Look, we're in the Premier League. It's the best league in the world.
We just need that better quality Dylan coming off the bench to change games. I feel when it's not working for Okafor, Nanto, we know with Dan James out, he's been out for a good stretch of time. When you're bringing on these players, these attacking players, you want real quality coming onto the pitch. And it's no disrespect to Jack Harrison. Look, he's obviously a footballer for a reason, but he just always felt like he wasn't really at that level. He wasn't really going to make a difference in the game to us. And the West Ham game when Noah Okafor, I remember, went off injured at halftime, and Jack Harrison came on that left wing. He just offered absolutely nothing. And then again against Derby on the weekend, some of his crosses and his play, and it just wasn't good enough. And I'm hoping Dylan, he can reignite his career, go to Fiorentina, kick on, get the move that he wants, and then we both go our separate ways and kind of end this once and for all.
I'd like to think so. It's just, as I said, leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and a lot of ifs and buts and maybes. He's like similar to Brendan Aronson, a confidence player. I think he knows, let's be honest with you, there's a lot of the fan base that don't want him here. And just for his career, for himself, and for his football as well, just go play somewhere else. But yet again, with the obligation that they're paying majority of the wages.
That's the big one. That's the big one for me, Dylan. I'd be very disappointed if Leeds United are covering over half of that 90k week, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Madness. Dylan, let's move on and talk about your boy Joel Piroe, who seems to be dominating the rumours for Leeds United at the minute, and his future very much undecided. We all probably felt like in a January transfer window, there was a massive opportunity for Joel Piroe to leave the football club. He came out last week in an interview fighting back, saying that he wants to stay at Leeds United and fight for his place and be here. And it was great attitude. It's great to hear. But now more rumours have came out today that PSV, Eindhoven are looking at bringing Joel Piroe to the Dutch league. Said if the right offer comes in, Leeds United may well accept. How are you feeling about this one?
Well, first things first, I'll say, if the fee is right for Piroe, I want someone else in. It's not, you want like for like, a striker for a striker. That's the way I'd be looking at it. No, I'm not too happy with it, Darren. I'll be honest with you. Look, at the end of the day, he's not playing, and Calvert-Lewin is definitely a better striker. We all see that. But like, obviously, Mitch has been up and down in form. He's scoring goals, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Piroe's been given a chance, if I'm being completely honest with you. Not necessarily saying he has to start, but more time. He's not getting on enough. The last 5-10 minutes scraps. It's not enough for a player of his quality to get up to speed in that game. And then, I've kind of said this before, and it's no disrespect to Calvert-Lewin. I love Calvert-Lewin. We seem to be playing to Calvert-Lewin's strengths an awful lot. We're not really playing to Piroe's. Last season we said it, he's playing in the 10 role. It didn't suit him at all. When he was up top, he was banging in goals. But yet again, he's a different type of striker.
Yeah.
So it's just one of these things. So for me, I'd just like to see more out of him. I just
think Dylan, Daniel Farke now has a system in his head, and I don't think he's going to deviate from that. And I think when Calvert-Lewin isn't starting games, you're going to see Lucas Mecha in there, or he might go with a two. And for so long as Leeds fans, remember Joe Piroe's first season at Leeds United, it was the thought of what would Joe Piroe be like in a front two with someone up alongside him, because we know that he is that kind of silky player. He can definitely finish in around the box. We were thinking if you could have someone in and around him a little bit more, you could even get more out of Joe Piroe. So you're thinking in this 3-5-2, someone up there alongside him like a Calvert-Lewin, that you might see a little bit more from Joe Piroe. But unfortunately, Dylan, it's hard to make an assessment of him in the Premier League. The kind of thought of it is that he's not good enough for the Premier League. I find it hard personally to make an opinion of Joel Piroe in the Premier League, because we just haven't seen him enough to be honest with you. In the Championship, absolutely brilliant for us when we could see that with the goals that he banged in. But the only thing, Dylan, is that I can say, if he is going to leave Leeds United in this transfer window, we have to make sure that we get the best deal for the football club, the most money we possibly can. But we also have to make sure, Dylan, and be 100% sure that we have a replacement coming in the door, because we can't leave ourselves like with Calvert-Lewin. We know his injury record. Lucas Mecha as well. To only be left with the two of them, and if Joe Piroe moves on and Leeds United don't replace Joe Piroe, we really snooker ourselves as well. So if he is going to go, we have to be 100% sure that someone's going to come in to replace him.
That's it. I get that's where I am at it, in the sense of, if he does go out the door, I'm not happy about it. I'll be completely honest with you. But yet again, as you said, the money needs to be right, and it needs to be another striker coming in the door.
Yeah,
If not a similar quality, better. But yet again, it's January, lads. It's a lot to take. Players. It's such a tough window to anyone that you get. You said it yourself. Teams are set up for the rest of the season. There's maybe players that are the free transfer market, players that are injured, players that just haven't been playing enough game time. And I think that's where the issue we're going to run into. So, personally, I can't see him going just because it's January. If it was the summer, I'd probably say, yeah, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, in my opinion, I don't want him to go. I would like for him to stay and fight for his place and prove everyone wrong. And yet again, it's not even proving everyone wrong. It's more just give him a bit more game time. You said it yourself, to put two up beside him.
Some of them games, Dylan, where we're chasing the goal, you think you could bring on Piroe a little bit earlier. And you could probably see against Derby County with the penalty miss and a couple of more of his other chances that he had, a fit and firing, match sharp Joe Piroe puts them balls in the back of the net, and he just didn't do that. And you could just see he was just like a little bit rusty in the game. So I think you're right as well, Dylan. And look, I always kind of maintain that he's a good option coming off the bench, because we know he's a goal scorer. And if he does get that ball in around the 18-yard box for Leeds United, we know that he can score goals. But yeah, I think I agree with you as well. At times, we probably could utilise him that little bit more. But up front, we've had the likes of Calvert-Lewin, Meche, Okafor is there now. Willie Nanto's probably after forcing his way into that kind of second striker role as well. Brendan Aronson has been doing fantastic in that role as well. We've seen that against Newcastle United. So it's going to be very hard for him to get any minutes in this Leeds United side as it is now.
Exactly. That's where we're at. So at the end of the day, if he's happy to sit on the bench for the rest of the season, fair enough. If he's willing to stay and fight for his place and actually make an impact and, give Fark something to think about, very good. And then if he does leave, needs to be dry fit, but also needs to be replaced.
Yeah, I think that's it. Michael says here, Piroe, very interesting to watch sometimes. He might not work. He might work in a front two, but his tendency to drop deep rather than stay up high for a team is a flaw in his discipline for that role. And I think he has a nail on the head there, Dylan, because he does tend to drop very deep, almost as a midfielder at times. We've seen that in the championship last year. And then I was kind of a little bit critical of him last year at times, that he could have even had more goals in the championship if he just stayed in and around the box a little bit more. There was times where we were getting crossed into the box and Joe Piroe was outside the 18-yard box, and you're thinking, for a striker of his quality, is get yourself in there, get yourself in on the end of them, because that's what you're very good at doing, finishing them sort of chances. So I do still think that's something in his game, the killer instinct in him to make the box, want to get in there, want to score goals. I do think he's missing that a little bit. And I do agree with Michael as well. At times he drops a little bit too deep, but I think that might be a part of the Daniel Farke system as well for so long, for asking him to drop into that number 10, that pocket, to try and pick up the ball. He's been very much the playmaker in this Leeds United side over the last 2 seasons.
Yes, of course.
So I think at times he does play into that a little bit too much, where I would like him to stay a little bit more higher and kind of off the shoulder, kind of sort of striker. Yeah, rather than deep. Richard said, disappointed on the Harrison deal just because alone again with an option to buy. They will offer 4 million in 6 months, make it compulsory at 8. Yeah, and that's obviously the risk you run, isn't it, Richard? Because we've seen similar situation. Was it Lorente, I think, Real Betis, or was it Mark Roque? Very similar, where there was a buy option of, it was something like 10, 12 million, and they got him for a steal, then half that price, didn't he? So, yeah, absolutely. It needs to be the best deal for Leeds United. The only thing I would probably say back to that, Richard, I'm sure Leeds United are just thinking, trying to offload them wages, because that is a colossal amount of money to be playing a player like him that's not even contributing to this Leeds United side. So, yeah. Rusty Tinkan says, evening, lads. Evening, pal. Hope you're keeping well, brother. Good to see you in the building. Dylan, let's talk about another striker at Leeds United, and this time it's a young prospect who has his whole career ahead of him, and it is Harry Gray. And I have to say, lads, I'm absolutely thrilled with this decision. So we seen Graham Smith from the YEP, an exclusive Leeds United agreeing a deal to send Harry Gray on loan to Rotherham for the rest of the season. It's fantastic, Dylan, isn't it? Because last weekend against Derby County, if he's not getting into that team or playing any sort of minutes in an FA Cup game, it was probably best for him to go out on loan. And I didn't really want him to stay with the under-21s because he's proved himself there. He's good enough for that. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he gets on at Rotherham.
Similar to his brother, like he's young, and we've heard Eddie Gray come out and say he's clearly better than Archie, which is a wild statement. But you can see him; he's banging in goals left, right, and centre. Under 21s or not, he has talent, he has potential. He just has to be given time. Fortunately, us, Daniel Fark, we don't have time. It's simple as that.
In the Premier League, we don't. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So I think it'd be the right thing to do, simply because just to give him that little bit of experience, and is he ready to take the next step up? Hopefully next season, and hopefully he'll be still here, and potentially be our main man striker in a year or two, or whatever it may be. But I think he'd be quick, snapped up very quick there.
He's going down as well, Dylan, to the hustle and bustle of League One as well, and I think they're around the relegation zone as well. So he's certainly going to have a fight on his hands going down there. And I think it'll do him the world of good, Dylan. Going playing proper men's football, you know. We know what it's like down at League One. We've been down there for so many years. So I think this could be a massive learning curve for Harry Gray, and he'll definitely come back a better player. And I'll be certainly keeping an eye on to see how he gets on at Rotherham. So fantastic to see. I wouldn't have liked him to stay with the under-21s for the rest of the season and not really kick on and take that opportunity. And it's only for half a season, staying around Yorkshire as well. So not that massive of a change for him either.
He's ready. He needs game time. You know, we've said it. He's clearly a standout player for the under-21s. He's been making the bench an awful lot. You know, he's probably got a few charity minutes here or there. So Daniel Fark, the coaching staff, and then now obviously Rotherham, everyone sees something inside Harry Gray. He has that potential to go forward. So I think alone is probably the best thing. Now, we said this the summer, if I'm not mistaken, to say, why don't we get him out now? Give him a good season-long loan.
Yeah.
To give him that experience. But look, he didn't. And that's where, in my head, when I didn't hear anything about it, I was assuming that Harry Gray was going to play a big part in Leeds season this year. But he didn't. So I think it's the right thing for him. He needs time.
Rusty Tinkan says here, good for Harry Gray, though. Would have been nice to see him go to a championship side. Yeah, I don't really mind. I think League One, to kind of see how he gets on. If he rips it up down there, then fantastic. And then there's no reason why we can't try him in the championship, because he's still very young, still part of his development as well. So yeah, I don't really mind whether championship or League One. I'm happy he's gonna go play, first team football. So it's great to see. So yeah, best of luck to Harry Gray. I'm sure that'll be confirmed by the football club soon enough. So that is all the outgoing rumours so far with Leeds United. So we'll definitely keep an eye on them and bring you any updates as soon as we can. But Dylan, we have to talk about this man Doekhi from Union Berlin, and it's rumbled on since the transfer window opened up, and it's one that I feel is probably going to go right to the very end of the window. The centre half has played in the back three, the right hand side of a back three. Big, strong, physical. Looks like he wants to leave Union Berlin. His contract is out in June this year. He can agree a pre-contract if that's going to happen. That's what Leeds United are looking to do. Agree a pre-contract now and get him in the summer. But looks like Union Berlin are looking to offload him now to try and make a bit of money for him. I think this will be a good sign of Dylan. He can score goals as well.
I don't know. I'm very confused about it, because I know it's obvious that he wants backup. Daniel Fark, I'm talking about here. He wants cover at the centre half position, because let's be honest, he is born out of one, like it right now. I think he needs a bit of time to develop as a player as well and get to know the English league. I think be all fair enough. He's taking it very smoothly. Like, he's just kind of got on with it, and we can see what we all can do. Similar to Stack as well. Like, the boys literally just grabbed it by the hands. Borneo had an up and down sort of start. So for me, going after this player, is it potentially just another backup to have, or is it potentially you're looking at one of the centre halves to leave? And it's not going to be Borneo unless he goes out on loan, which is very unlikely as well. So is it a possibility? What we said in the summer, is it Pascal Stroke looking to leave?
I don't really know, Dylan. Like, he plays the right hand side of the back three, and I think for the money Leeds United could pick him up for, potentially if we can agree a contract now and get him for free in the summer, he'd be fantastic, because there is other Premier League suitors looking at him as well. Wolfsburg in Germany, they're looking to take his services as well. So I think if Leeds United could get this done, it'd be fantastic. And if you see there, 4 goals as well this season, he's strong, powerful. His aerial duels won 97%, Dylan.
Sign him.
That's unbelievable. Like,
Sign
and
him.
that would be so good in the Premier League as well. And we need that, and we know we have that physicality. So if you add that to a back line there with the likes of Joe Rodon, Pascal Struijk, Huckabee, all like that's really good options, Dylan, in centre half.
That's serious, to be fair. I didn't think
It's
of it like that. Yeah, sign him. Sign him now.
Yeah, I'd be all over. It's an interesting one, and Sky were speaking about it yesterday as well, and they were very much urging Leeds United to go do it and go get it done. It is a very doable one, but I think this might go to the end of it. I think Union Berlin want Leeds United to make a bid now. Leeds are happy enough to do a pre-contract and sign him then in the summer as well. So this could be one that's going to go right down to deadline day, I think.
I think it's going to be one of them things as well, though, as you said, kind of towards the end of the season, but we're all going to be keeping a close eye on this. There's going to be a lot of rumours, a lot of murmurs, the usual. And then before you know it, then he's going to sign for someone else, and we're all going, what's going on? It's sure you can see it happening. But yeah, great interest coming around and a lot of noise. But yet again, rumours and murmurs, as you would say. So hopefully.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
DB4 say? What did DB4 say?
DB4 says plays a little bit like Van Dijk, does have decent pace as well. That's big in the Premier League as well, Dylan, isn't it? We need a little bit of pace in there as well. Yes. So it's good and good in the air is absolutely massive. Transfer window, it's important to keep hold of our well-performing players. Important to add quality to them. Otherwise, we'll end up like Bournemouth, who can't really resist the big money bids. Yeah, that's fair. It's very hard to kind of get that balance right, isn't it, Michael? Very much like the Brighton model, isn't it? Is you have to sell well and recruit well and keep adding to that recruitment as you go. The wheel just keeps turning. So I agree with you as well. You can become a little bit stuck, can't you, if you offload too many quality players and don't replace them. So, yeah, really good point, that one there from Michael. It's not who we replace, it's who we compete with, says Mark. We need quality biting at the heels of the quality. And Dylan, we've said this as well, and you've said it as well. And I think Mark has the nail on the head as well. He adds competition to that back line. Exactly what Leeds United need.
Yeah, look, I agree. I potentially, I think we're, you could say, getting the defence sorted out for us. What we've seen in the summer, we seem to start from the defence, move our way up the pitch. Obviously, then finish with the goal. We'll start with the goalkeeper as well. So I'd just like to think so. I'm not against it. I'm for it, but I want to see other positions kind of fulfilled for us.
I think I'd like to see a wing back, Dylan. Yeah. I'd like to see another, probably a left back, because we have Justin and Bogle that can cover that side, and Borneo, if he can come back, we know he can cover right hand side now as well. But I think that left hand side worries me, Dylan, a little bit when you see Jack Harrison playing in there on the weekend against Derby County and good months. And if you do get an injury for him, or even just rotation, Dylan, we don't really have good rotation on that left hand side. Sam Boyram as well, and look, is he going to be at the required level in the Premier League to come against Premier League players? Who knows? So I'd like to see us do a left back deal. I think that would be smart business.
I agree. I still want to see a winger, probably a striker or 10. I know we're not going to play that, but I
think a minimum 2, Dylan. Look, if we get Doekhi, happy days, but we still need an attacking player for me, whether it's a winger, a number 10, a striker. We definitely need a player to fit that mold that's going to score goals and going to create. That's what I'd be looking at Leeds United to do. And a left back. So a minimum for me, 2.
2. I'm going to say 3.
You're asking a lot. Those Leeds in the January window, we sometimes you don't even do any when we want to do something.
We don't even do any at all. We just offload a load of players, not buy anyone.
Yeah, well, there's a few have to go out the door. I think we all probably felt this, that with what happened with Harry Wilson at the end of the summer window, with the financial restrictions we were under, that we probably knew that we were going to have to offload a few bodies in this January window in order to bring somebody in. So I'm not surprised we're seeing a little bit of move from Jack Harrison, question marks around Joe Piroe and that as well, just to offload a couple of players off the book. So hopefully we start seeing a couple of moves coming the other way. Carl says, "Hiya lads, does that bloke from Union Berlin, he wants to come to Leeds, does he, but doesn't want but he won't buy a player on loan, but don't think we will get anyone in the transfer window though, unless we sell like MOT." I did hear as well that his preferred choice is to come to Leeds United and is to come play in the Premier League, because Wolfsburg came in strong for him. And then suppose he came out from his side of it that he does want to come and play in the Premier League. Didn't particularly say Leeds United, but his preferred move would be to the Premier League as well, which is obviously an upside for Leeds United. So obviously puts the cards in our favour. Richard says, "What's your opinion on selling Willie?" God, good question. It's a good question. I do like Willie Nanto. I really do, and I think on his day, when he has his best days and shows his quality and he's consistent, he's a very good player. He really is. The problem is with Willie Gnonto, he's been far too inconsistent for me. He goes through purple patches, and then there's times then when he really goes off the boil and doesn't affect the game. And maybe he's one of them if the price is right, and I mean really good price is right, you probably would let him go. Again, like the Piroe situation, we have to make sure then we're replacing him with
what I'm saying.
Better quality. We need to make sure we can't just offload these players and not bring anybody in, Dylan. If we're getting better quality, I can't say no to that.
I think it'll be the summer. I think it'll be summer before we go anywhere near Willie Gnonto being sold. I can't see it happening in January. It's just, as I said, it's just a tough window as it is. There's a lot of players, a lot of teams, hanging on to their players.
Yeah.
But then, if the price is right, like money does talk, but there's no point to the money talking if you're not going to back it up with bringing another player in. And I just can't see us.
And as well, Dylan, we only brought Willie Gnonto in. I think wasn't it 5 million, a little as 5 million. You know, if you're getting double, triple that, like, kind of makes sense for financial fair play as well. But there's nothing about Willie Gnonto at the minute, so we'll just have to see what happens. Kershaw says, even if Harrison is the only player out the door, I think it will benefit for a striker and a centre back. Don't forget, there's only 17 league games left. Goalkeeper, full back can wait until the summer.
Yeah.
I don't know about a fullback, to be honest with you.
Fullback, I don't know.
Goalkeeper, I agree. A fullback, I do think we need a fullback, Kershaw, to be honest. If we get an injury for good months, and Dylan, suppose you can put James Justin over there, but then any of them, nothing happens to them, or they're fatigued, you don't really have anyone else come on. I just think that a little bit more rotation on that left-hand side,
I agree.
I would be happy with. And certainly an attacking player Leeds United need.
You're not going to get, as you said, a wing-back even. You're not going to get Noah Okafor, playing that position. He might be great going forward. He won't do it on coming back to defend the part. So I would be a fullback that can definitely run up the pitch, and attack, but also has it on the defence side as well. That's what I'd be looking at.
Actually, a good one here. I'm taking a bit of a question from Tony Martin's ones here. I'd rather sell Piroe than Willie Gnonto. Dylan, if you had to pick one, who would be the one to offload?
My heart's telling me for Willie to go, but yet again, my heart's telling me Piroe to go, because I think Willie would, he's still young. There's a lot still in the locker for him. But then on the other side of it is the money that we get offered for Willie.
Yeah.
So it's kind of 50-50, but that's Piroe's not going anywhere, are he?
Yeah. We're upsetting Dylan here now, all this Piroe talk. He hasn't been the same since all this Piroe leaving Leeds United talk. Richard says, have we got any loan options to come in the door? There doesn't seem to be many available. And that's, again, another market. Leeds United can go down the loan market if we wanted to as well. So fair point as well, Richard. But there's nothing really. It's been very quiet, hasn't it, up until date?
Very
and in
quiet.
fairness to Daniel Farke at the turn of the year, New Year's Day against Liverpool, his post-match, when he was asked after the game, he said he doesn't expect any sort of movement or anybody coming in the door till after the Derby County game. And now we are starting to see a little bit of movement there now. So I do think it's going to start to heat up. Them last 2 weeks of the January transfer window, you do genuinely see a good bit of movement then. Dylan, clubs then start. It's like dominoes, in it. You need a domino effect to fall. One club sells, and then it kind of has a knock-on effect then for everybody.
Yes. Everyone's just kind of waiting to see who makes the first move. That's simply what it is, like a game of chess. And I think for me, we should be offloading the Deadwood, as you said. So it's great to see a bit of noise coming out about Jack Harrison, obviously, and Harry Gray. So kind of get them shifted out of the way in order for other players to come in. And what the boys have been saying there as well, I wouldn't mind looking at the free transfer market. I really wouldn't.
If the right sign is there, Sly 2 says, need 5 incomers for a proper FA Cup run. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we certainly do. If we're going to go all the way in the FA Cup, we certainly need to rotate that squad, absolutely. Tony Martin says, would you take Callum Wilson? I don't know. I was asking myself this when he left West Ham, and I can't really flip-flop on it, because back in the summer, at the very start of the summer window, when he became a free agent, I was saying Leeds United should go get him because loads of Premier League experience. I think he's very injury prone. He's very much like that mold of Meche and Calvert-Lewin. I would just love a striker that hasn't got a bad injury record, that can come in, play football, be a good cover for Calvert-Lewin, and be reliable. That's what I'm just looking for, a reliable striker. Callum Wilson isn't that for me.
Yeah, I have to agree, Darren. But then at the same time, I kind of said the similar thing about Calvert-Lewin. Now you look at him now and he's banging in goals. So I think No, I think we should go with someone a bit more, less injury prone, and you
Yeah.
know, bit of Premier League experience. You could say someone that's just is ready and is kind of chomping at the bit. That's all you want. You want fight, competition. I just don't think Callum Wilson, for me, would do it for us.
Yeah. Well, there is a player, and this is very, very much rumour side of things. There's nothing concrete here. Taram Moffi from Nice, Dylan. It looks like he could leave there. There was a bit of an issue with him and fans attacking the bus and stuff like that. He has kind of down tools and wants to leave France. There is a possibility of him coming to Leeds United, but as I said, it's very, very loose links at the minute. He has played 10 matches so far for them this season, only scored 2 goals, and potentially looks like his contract could be terminated. So again, that could be one Leeds United keep an eye on. He's 6'2", but he's not very good in the air, which is strange for a fellow of his build and his height. Only 30% of the aerial duels won as well, but could certainly add to that side of it as well, Dylan, if we needed to go down that route.
You know, Daniel Farke has the tendency to make players really play to their strengths. So potentially, Daniel Farke could get him to work on his headers or his aerial duels, as you'd say. I think, you know, all the players that we've been linked with so far, not that I don't know them, I don't know much of them. So I need to do not so much digging, but I mean in the sense of there's certain areas in this team that I'd rather look at before looking at these players, if that makes sense. But yet again, at the same time,
it's
I
hard,
think if the
Dylan,
price is
in
right
the
as well,
January
though, isn't it,
transfer
Darren?
window. Look, I think
Yeah.
like this summer you can really put bids on the table. The January window, Dylan, is tough because you've got
It's tough,
players
yeah.
like this in Moffi that hasn't really been playing for them, that's down tools the last couple of weeks, is going to be rusty. He's going to have to come in and
Exactly.
train and get up to speed.
Yeah.
You've
It
got
takes
players that
time.
are out of favours at their football club, even if you're going to go for loans. Or then you've got players that are doing really well at the club and it's going to cost you money to go get them. So the
Yeah.
January window is a very tough window, and that's shown at Leeds United's track record in the January transfer window over how many years. So it is going to be tough. But the 49ers have to pull out all the stops, Dylan, because as I said, it's in a very, very important window for Leeds United, this one.
I just don't want it to be a flop, Darren. I suppose like when you look at it, if the money, like if it's a good steal, let's be honest with Tanaka's situation, you know, the money that we spent for him and how good he's been. But I mean, you said it yourself, this fella's down tools. He's going to be in a state of shock, you know, from obviously being attacked by fans, and football mightn't be his passion right now because of what's going on. Might lose his self control, sort of thing. As you said, then not really playing, has to get up to speed. So is it really worth it to see him probably play 1 or 2 games in the next month? And you know, you're talking about April, or sorry, March or April before we actually get to see him up to speed. Could be a little too late. We need someone ready now.
Yeah, Dylan, no, I totally agree with you as well. I really do. It's an interesting one, Dylan, and like as I said to you, look, I think it's such an important window for this one, and I do think we're making all the right steps now. Jack Harrison, I think it's right that he's moved on. Harry Gray as well, that he's gone on his loan move. Maybe one of the big ones have to go. Maybe Piroe or Willie Nanto in order for us to go and get one of them attacking players. I'd be interested to see, do we go back in for Harry Wilson? He's absolutely ripping it up at Fulham. Do we revisit that one? Probably would be a little bit unlikely, but I do feel like it's going to start opening up now, Dylan. Now that we're starting to move a couple of players on, we're potentially going to see more links now to Leeds United over the coming week, I think.
I can genuinely see Piroe leaving now, and everyone just tagging me and sending it to me just to wind me up. You know, look, if the price is right and we get a replacement, I'm happy. And as long as Leeds stay up, we will stay up.
Richard said we should go for Gus Hamer. Could be available
There
for
we
6
go.
million. Would love your thoughts, lads. He's
Those
the
are
new
my entrants.
he's the new Ryan Kent, isn't he?
Ryan Kent, yeah,
Gus
that's it,
Hamer.
yeah.
And I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys here, fully transparent. I have watched very, if not any, of the championship, so I have no idea how Gus Hamer's getting on. I've deleted the championship from my brain this
I'm gonna see it
season.
again.
But yeah, being interesting. If you get him for 6 million, could you take him? Set piece, still in set pieces. Very good at set pieces. We know this. Score free kicks, very good at corners. Can add to that as well. Yeah, but he's big. Gus Hamer's small. If you get stacked in the box as well, so possibly if the price is right and he's going to come to Leeds United and perform
Who would you
well,
put ahead of him?
who would I put him in instead of?
Mm.
No one. He's sitting on the bench, man.
See,
bench option. Very good bench option in the Premier League. Why not?
so's Tanaka.
Tony says here, we're lucky we're a team on the up. Better chance of getting players in. Exactly, Tony. Exactly. Because if we were still going through that bad route we were going through, you were going to get players looking at Leeds United going, I'm not going anywhere near that place. But now, exactly what you're saying, we're a team on the up, performing well, some really good results against the top sides. Teams will be looking at us now going, Leeds United have a right chance. When you look at what's happening at West Ham, Paquette is looking to get out there. Their best player, probably apart from Bowen. Nottingham Forest as well. Douglas Luiz, he's looking to get out there as well. So a couple of them teams in and around us still are losing key players as well. So it's imperative Leeds United hold on to our key players and add quality.
Just start picking out certain players from teams in and around us, and start building a super team. Go up and win the Prem. Job's a good one. No, honestly, surprise, do a Leicester on it.
Sebastian says here, Leeds really need to sign a backup left back. That's priority number one, I assume. I think I agree with you. Is it priority? I'm not too sure. It's certainly on my wish list. I think so as well, because I do think at times Gabby Goodmunson does need a little bit of a break and a little bit of rotation, Dylan, absolutely. And as I said, we could see in the FA Cup when Jack Harrison had to come on and play left back in that game. We certainly need a little bit of cover there. So I agree with you. I'm not sure if it's the priority for Leeds United, but I think it has to be on the list.
I think we can, I don't know about you, this is what I'm a firm believer in. The fullbacks between Bogle and Goodmunson, and I know James Justin now has been integrated into the team, but them two boys, Bogle and Goodmunson, have ran their socks off, lads. Like really, really have ran their socks off. The quality that they've been putting in the box, defending, whatever it may be. Danny, I know you would. I know you would. All right. That's why I said it, because I know it'd be you to do it. But we seen how when Bogle did get injured, that James doesn't come in and how well he's done so far. So I think for me, a left back needs to be simply just because whether Goodmunson picks up a few yellow cards or he gets a suspension, or if he does get injured. Let's be honest with you, is Sam Byram going to be up to speed for the Premier League? I don't think so. It's horrible to say because I love him. Well, absolutely love him, but I can't see it.
He's very much a Gil of Ogie this year, Dylan.
He's just there for the dressing room. It's horrible to say, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Ian Ward says, Darren, likewise, we look forward not back to the championship. Yeah, look, I just decided myself this year I won't be watching any championship football. I've watched it for far too long in my lifetime. So this year I was just like a refuse to watch championship games. I'll throw on Italian games, Spanish games. I'll even put on the Saudi Arabian games before I put on the championship football now, especially when Don Goodman's commentating as well. Pepe, the striker of PSV, is out for 2 months with a broken arm. PSV will be the champion without pressure. The other's really bad this season, and in Champions League they can play without a striker. Yeah, and I did hear that their striker has got a broken arm, and this is why it came up about Joe Piroe, that they do need a backup striker. So it's going to be interesting to see how it develops. I'm sure if they put a good enough bid on the table, Leeds United will accept it. But we do need to make sure we're going to replace him. Absolutely. So we need something lined up. Team on the up, stadium upgrade, best fans in the world. We can tempt the best players now, says Ian Ward. Exactly. Get our Premier League status confirmed this year as well, and we kick on next year. And we have to get back to where we want to be. I wonder if John Pepper wants to have a chat about this one though. I haven't seen him since BMG. He lost a loads of money on you that time, so I don't think he will.
BMG always in here storing up the pot, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, of course. Tony Martin says Justin cover left back. Yeah, I know we can, but then we're losing the cover at right back then on that competition that I'm loving seeing now at right back with Jayden Bogle, because that has been a topic for conversation now, is that he's really putting it up to Jayden Bogle, Dylan, putting him under pressure when he was meant to be a backup. It's very much a competition now at right back, and I love to see it.
That's all we kind of crying out for. Like even the midfield as well. It's just simply players of the quality that we have chomping at the bit, coming on and making an impact when they're called upon, and that's simply all we've been asked for. And you have to give, as the lads there saying, Richard Todd saying Justin or Bogle. I can't actually confirm that because the two boys have literally been doing so well. Now, Justin's been good since he's been called upon, with Bogle being out. But lads, let's not forget, at the start of the season, Bogle was our best attacking threat.
Yeah,
and he's right back.
just shows,
So,
Dylan. Just shows
exactly.
it can change. We need everybody chomping at it.
Yeah.
BMG says, ideally for me, we get a left back who can also play centre back, a profile like Dan Bourne or Ben Davis, a left-footed James Justin. Basically, I'd also take Callum Wilson. I think we need backups. I think so as well. I do think so as well. Even apart from FA Cup runs or not that we're talking about this week, I do think we need a little bit more rotation and just a little bit cover on one or two positions just to make sure we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Arthur says Dan James back next week, hopefully, but he's been out for a long time now, lads, hasn't he, Dan James? It's been very stop-start from towards the tail end of the last season. We've seen him very little. So I haven't got high hopes or too much pressure being put on Dan James because I do think it's going to take him time to get back up to speed. But it's always great to have him back. He's always a great option with his pace as well for that out ball.
Well, we want to see him at his full pace. We haven't seen it this season yet, which is worrying.
Yeah. Arthur says Borneo out for a week, maybe more as well, and that's possibly why they're looking at Doekhi as well. Because in fairness to Borneo, he's been a little bit injury prone since we brought him in, so maybe that's why Leeds United are looking for that little bit of extra cover at centre half. I'm hearing Darlow in goal against Fulham on Saturday, possibly, mate. It's one that I very much have a keen eye for. On Saturday, personally, I don't think Fark does it. I don't think he does. I do think it's going to be Lucas Perry. But I do think he'd be very much on a fine line if he has the mistakes and performs the way he has in the last two games. You might very much see Carl Darlow then after that, Dylan. But yeah, it's definitely a topic.
You can't afford that when you've 10 players on the pitch. You go back to Newcastle fighting, and now Brendan Harrison, a handball and gave away a penalty. But I mean, there was one man. The defense looked shaky as it already was. You need your goalkeeper to be the last line of defence, let's be honest with you. And he just simply wasn't. So I think for me, at the minute, he's going to start and see how he gets on at Fulham over the next one or two games. And then you can kind of judge it. Because let's be honest with you, they're entitled at times to have a bad performance. But it's just the way the structure of the game went. And we scored, they scored. That looked bad on them. So I think at the minute, I'm okay for Darlow to go in there, by the way. But I think Perry still keeps a spot for now.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. Marcus Celtic says, would James fit in now? Not in the 3-5-2. I don't see where he gets in unless you play him up front with the two alongside Calvert-Lewin. But I don't think that role really suits him. We've seen him play that under Bielsa. I think Dan James is at his best when he has a bit of width and a bit of space to run into, maybe at right wing back, but then you already kind of have that cover there in Bogle and Justin. So I'm not too sure. We have seen at times though us revert back to the 4-3-3 against Liverpool, Brentford, Sunderland. We have changed it back, so maybe there still is a chance for Dan James off the bench as well. Interesting, but it's good. These are really good conversations. Really good conversations to have. Absolutely. Even though Borneo has barely played, he has been injured. I think he's justified. Us buying him. Played okay when we needed him in the couple of games though. Absolutely, yeah. When called upon, when Joe Rodon has been injured, he's come in, he's done a job. Absolutely, he is just a little bit injury prone. And yeah, your best ability for me as a footballer has to be availability, and he just seems to be one of them that's always going to pick up.
Stop start.
Yeah, pick up knocks here and there. Borneo, is he in the squad to absorb the injuries that would normally be sustained by others or more players? Like a voodoo doll, a terrible player for availability. I never thought I'd hear Sebastian Borneo be likened to a voodoo doll.
He's itchy in there just to get broke up. So other players are all right for next week. That's a serious thing.
Give the medical team something to do. Yeah. Make sure the medical team pick up their wage. Richard Todd says, should we go get Trafford from Man City? I would love to. I don't think, excuse me French here, I don't think the board will have the balls to go and do that with spending 17 million on the summer, because then you're very much saying is that he's a flop and he's no good and we got it wrong. And I don't think the 49ers do that, to be honest with you. But I would love, if you were giving me James Trafford on loan for the rest of the season, absolutely, I'd snap your hand off. I just can't see it. If you're not good enough with the ball at your feet, are you even Brazilian? No. I was very poor with the ball at my feet. Who for long? That was me. Borneo got injured in 15 minutes against Derby County on Sunday. Yeah, he did. He's one of them. He's just not reliable.
Like me.
Ortega as well. Yeah, possibly. will we get that done? Probably not. I don't think Perry has had any howlers, but he looks like he's going to. He's got away with several moments of indecision and looks like an accident waiting to happen. Upgrade in the summer, in my opinion. I think that's perfectly put, Dylan, from BMG, isn't it? He more so puts the shits up you, doesn't he? Anytime the ball comes anywhere near him, he hasn't really made any howlers,
It's not
but
like
he
a
always
Melia
looks
howler.
like he's going to.
It's not like a Melia howler where you've literally the ball at your hands and you decided to just kind of throw it into the net. Sort of narrative, but it's more of when you have that lead, you should be holding on to it, and the nerves got the better of him, and he wasn't confident. That's it. Just couldn't demand his box.
Yeah, I think he's just not filling me with confidence, Dylan. And I think as a goalkeeper, that's one thing that you need to have is confidence, because you can unsettle that back line. And if you look nervy and you're indecisive in your game and coming out flapping at things, that definitely much rubs off on your defense, doesn't it? And even though Carl Darla mightn't be the best goalkeeper, I don't get that vibe from him. I don't get that. Or we could cause a howler like the way, like every time the ball goes back to Perry, it's always one of them, the hand over your eyes, just clear it. Or send it long. So that's why for them couple of weeks when he was booting along and he was sending it into the stands and people were getting frustrated, I was like all right with it because they can't score from the stands. Which were the last couple of games against Manchester United and Newcastle, we went back to playing out from the back a little bit more and inviting them onto us. And he was really, really putting the shits up me, Dylan, and that back line was. So I just want to see when the ball comes back to Lucas Perry is that his number one job is just put it long. Try and hit the furthest man that you possibly can, but goes into the stands, no problem at all. But I don't want to see him try to play the ball at his feet.
Improvement after the Arsenal game, because I think that was the real one that kind of gave us all the spook. After that, then he kind of made an impact. His kicking was starting to get better, his throws. And then, as you said, he wasn't playing out from the back. He was hooving along, and 9 times out of 10, it was hitting Calvert-Lewin. So I think it's just, for me, not necessarily saying rotation. I would give him a game or two, would see how he gets on. And if he's still not up to scratch, then he needs to be taken out. Because if other players, outfield players are doing it, and they're getting rotated because they made a silly pass or simply weren't up to scratch, they're getting rotated. So it should be across the board the same for everyone, including Ethan Ampadu.
Marcus Celtic says, do you think the 49ers are too confident this season and we will sign nobody? I hope not. I hope not, Marcus. I hope we don't rest on our laurels, because I think the old saying in football, if you stand still and do nothing, then you're going backwards, aren't you? We constantly have to look to improve this squad, even if it's only a little bit each time. Like the players with Jack Harrison going out, if we can recruit someone in his position that can cover our left back and maybe left wing with a better quality, then you see that as an upgrade. But you constantly have to be looking to improve, Marcus. So I hope they're not being too confident this season and hoping that we're safe, because football is a funny old game to come back to bite you in the arse. And last thing I want is a transfer window closing in January and then having a poor run of form in February, March, and then wishing we'd done something in January. So
you start making excuses that we haven't got the money to do it.
PSR or whatever. PSR. Michael says, hi lads, anyone see Reece Cleary last night for Barnsley? He looked pretty decent. Big man with a lot of pace and power, I think you mean to say there. Pace and power. Yeah, he was quality for Barnsley last night. It does have to be said. League One standard. So what would he be like playing in the Premier League every week? But I agree with you last night. He was very, very good. He tormented the Liverpool back line last night. Perry too slow, diving down for the ball, too bulky. Yeah, seems like any kind of shot that goes too low from he's very hard at getting down. Then once around mid height and higher up, he's very good at. He has done some good things as well. Then it hasn't all been bad. It hasn't been horrendous. A couple of the saves he's pulled off. When you look at, I remember Jared Bowen's overhead kick at Ellen Road, fantastic save. The double save against Nottingham Forest, the Van Dijk header save against Man United. So he has saved us at times. It hasn't been. It's not detrimental, but he's just not filling me with confidence at the minute. And look at, let's hope he turns his game around, because we kind of allow outfield players to have bad games, and the next game we're looking for them to be up and at it. And I think it's similar with goalkeepers. They do have off days, but he just needs to get back to performing the way he was. What's it? Michael, I saw the article about Cleary today. What a punt, worth a punt, maybe. Yeah, maybe we'll go. He was very good. He was very, very good, I do have to say. I'd wish we have got Kelleher in the summer when a goalkeeper was our priority. Yeah, I would have loved Queeve and Kelleher, and of course myself and Dylan being Irish as well. See him a lot playing for the Republic of Ireland. He's a quality goalkeeper. He really is, and great at saving penalties as well. Just solid goalkeeper.
Just doesn't look shaky. I've never seen him look shaky.
Yeah, full of confidence. Just one of them. One of them. Yeah. The nightmare would be us doing nothing, and then yeah, exactly. I don't want to see us doing it. I don't want to see us offloading and not recruiting whatsoever. So I'm hoping that this stage is getting rid of that little bit of deadwood that we have here, and then recruiting as good as we can. What else have we got here? BMG says, I think it's probably hard for the starters to integrate into a new role, a new side in January, which is another reason why I think we'll only go for backups. I think you're right there. It is tough, isn't it? And you're very much in the final sprint then from January right on to the end of the season. It's very hard to get up to speed and integrate into the team. You're right there, BMG. It's a tough window, the January window. When was the last time that we had a good goalkeeper? Might be Nigel Martin. I think Rob Green was decent. Like I do think he was all right. I was actually felt confident with Rob Green, probably that one season under Kasper Schmeichel, but an actual solid no. Felix Wiebald. Yeah. Rob Green, maybe. I do think he was a solid enough goalkeeper. But yeah, it always seems like the goalkeeper position at Ellen Road is always for a topic for debate, doesn't it? Arthur here selling the Leeds jerseys here. Home short 35 quid, away short 54 quid, third short £44 till January.
Any discount codes, Arthur?
Yes, Arthur. Put in Arthur and you get 10% off. I'm only messing. Is Oscar Bob available and possible? I'd like that. Yeah. I'd like that. Possible. Good player. Yeah, possibly. We'll have to see, Dylan. There's loads of ifs and buts and maybes, and will we do this and will we do that? But all we have to do is just keep an eye on it and stay patient and hope that Leeds United do a little bit. Dylan, I think that's it, buddy.
That's it. Just seeing Marcus Elder coming up there, and I love that comment. That's it. Yeah, desperately, mate. And you know what? For anyone that's new here, go back on our videos. Me and Darren actually did an interview with him, and it was a real surreal moment for me and Darren. Really and truly, I was rattling, sitting beside him, rattling, and what a legend he was.
Yeah, go check out our interview with Ian Hart. I think it was a Q&A with Dallas and Ian Hart. We were very new to the YouTube game then, Dylan, when we were absolutely rattling talking to Ian Hart that day. Absolutely quality. Seamus Durkin says, evening, bros. Looking forward to Fulham on Sunday. Loving this stream as always, MOT. Thanks very much for that, Seamus Durkin. And all the babas as well. the lads are selling them out. The club shop must have views onto this, lads. OnlyLeedsBros and sell all the merch. Get more money in for the January sales there. Tony Martin says, excuse me, great stuff as ever, lads. Thanks, no problem at all, Tony. If you have a little bit of time, go check out the video put up yesterday of Brendan Aronson's redemption arc at Ellen Road. Really good video. Seems to have gone down really well with you guys. So make sure you do go check that out. Myself and Dylan will be back later on in the week for your match preview ahead of Fulham on Saturday. So that's it from us, guys. Mind yourselves, mind each other. Catch you in the next one.